I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Today is Sunday, 22nd of June 2025, and I'm still in this beautiful hotel at Abuja. Very early today, around 1:30 something a.m., I did the video on the breaking news when America struck the nuclear reactors at nuclear sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. What came into my mind is the cost of war, the cost of crisis, the cost of conflict, the cost of I no go green. For those of you who do not understand Nigerian English, I no go green. I, no, not go, agree. I no go green is that I won't listen to you, you won't listen to me. That's I no go green. In those days when we were protesting in school, we no go green, yo, we no go green. Grade you, we no go green. We don't agree with the authorities, or they demonstrate. Sometimes some crazy fellows might destroy things, and then police will come shoot. If you are not careful, somebody can die. And then they will close down the university. We will all travel home. If you are not careful, somebody can die on the way home. Crisis is very expensive, even in the family. When I tell people that I pay for peace in the household, in my household, they will think I'm a weak man. No, I'm a wise man. He who has much to lose should go the extra length for peace to reign. The genesis of this crisis in between Israel, Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, and a host of Arab countries. Though Iran is not Arab, Iran is Persian, and they have other ethnic nationalities. They have Kurds there, they have other ethnic nationalities, is over the Palestinian issue. When Israel was created in 1948, there was a war, and Palestinians were displaced. Some of their lands were taken over, and the nation of Israel was established. For me, it was injustice on those who were originally inhabiting some of those places that were taken over. You remember in the Bible, Gaza, Ashkelon, several other places during the time of Goliath, the Philistine. But however, somebody else will say that the nation of Israel, the Israelis were originally there from the time of Abraham, that Abraham bought the land, Hebron, present-day Hebron, from Ephron to bury the wife in the cave of Machpelah. Complicated. However, one of the things I have learned in life is to let some things go. Somebody will ask me, do you have any regrets in life? I say, no, I don't have any regrets. What is gone is gone. I look forward to a greater future. What I can do with what is in my hand. I will do a video after this. That will be my Sunday service broadcast. What do you have in your hand? For us Black people, Africans, we are carried across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, to the United States, to several other nations in the Caribbean and South America as slaves. sold by our own people, were carried to the UK. The Anglican Church had slaves, were carried across the Sahara to the Arab world, as were even carried as far as Russia. Alexander Pushkin, the poet, was said to be of the mother was said to be of African origin. Do we as Africans continue to fight, go with anger against those who took us to slavery? No. The things we have agitated for as Black people is equal rights, Black Lives Matter, equal opportunities. Now, if you look at the Jews themselves and the Germans took a lot of Jews, carried them to Auschwitz and several other concentration camps, exterminated millions of Jews. But Germany and Israel are relating cordially. There has not been an attempt to regularly want to attack Germany. Look at Japan and the United States of America. After the Japanese did a kamikaze bombing of the Pearl Harbor, America retaliated by dropping an atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And there was devastation. In fact, American bases were even established in Japan. I think there's one in Okinawa after the Second World War ended. The Japanese and the Americans are relating cordially. Good diplomatic relations, good trade agreement. Now, if you go to America and Vietnam, there was war, but the hostilities ended and they decided to live peacefully and move on. There was war between North Korea and South Korea. Till today, the bitterness in the part of the North Koreans is still there, and they are spending so much money developing armament, weapons, and the people are not living as well as those in South Korea. Now let's come to the Palestinian issue. You have your own impression, that's your business. I didn't call you to agree with me. No. I've reached a stage in life where I can have my opinion. I don't need to conform to your opinion. The Palestinian issue, I will categorically say that Israel as a nation oftentimes, let me say that, have violated the rights of Palestinians. But some of these violations are as a result of precautionary measures that the Israeli nation is taking because of past experiences. You remember the athletes of Israel in the Munich Games. You remember several crises Israel had with them, with the Arab War, Yom Kippur War. I think there was another war, the 6-day war, I can't remember. And they've been this back and forth. For Israel, there have been declarations, accords, that we're supposed to allow two states to exist side by side peacefully. Even the issue of East Jerusalem can be resolved if both sides are willing to concede. But is this I no go gree, I no go gree, I no go gree? And sometimes politicians, in my own mind, I suspect that Netanyahu, a lot of these wars he is fighting, he has a criminal case waiting for him. And it is to cling to power that some of these battles are prolonged. Okay, that aside, why would somebody just decide on October 7th to go and invade Israel and exterminate people, carry some people back to Gaza as hostages, with video recording them, transmitting, and the people in the streets celebrating? And you know the Jews, they don't forget, they don't forgive. And so Israel invaded Gaza, that they want to destroy Hamas and free their citizens. The war has led to so much devastation, so much devastation. I saw a very painful video recently of a boy who was crying that he has not had food, and he now packed sand, put in his mouth to eat, to show the level of desperation and deprivation. Gaza has been destroyed totally. Now, on the side of Hamas, you could have turned Gaza to a very beautiful city, very beautiful city states. There are tiny city states in Europe, Liechtenstein, Singapore in Asia is not a very big country, and several, Hong Kong, could have developed Gaza to be very beautiful instead of using that money to dig tunnels underground. You could have established underground railway systems, the subways, build high-rise buildings, provide healthcare, education, have universities, have businesses, live at peace with Israel, have access to the sea, and you will have had all the money you spent on armaments, rockets, Katyusha rockets, and all that could have been spent building a modern city. Even the Arab world, like Egypt and the rest of people that invaded Israel, and Israel eventually conquered the Sinai. The Sinai Peninsula is big enough to establish a nation for the Palestinians. Big enough to establish a nation for the Palestinians. Beautiful nation, well-developed nation. Today, I no go gree or we no go gree. Palestinians are all over the Arab world in refugee camps. Now, since 1947 till date, it has reached a point, a lot of the Arab nations are not willing to even accept Palestinians. A lot of them are not willing to join in the war against Israel. Imagine what Hezbollah did in Lebanon, the number of assassinations, Harari and the rest people, the number of times Israel has invaded Lebanon, in the time of Aaron Sharon, invaded Lebanon. And imagine the number of lives that have been lost, the destruction in Lebanon. And then Israel itself, the level of destruction it has received. This concept of I no go gree or I no go gree, it applies to families. I know a wife and a husband, oh, they were doing very well when we came to Ogili. Very well. Very, very well. The wife will not agree with the husband. I no go gree, oh, I no go gree. She eventually died. The business they were doing collapsed. The children scattered. They couldn't take over the business. The man eventually died. Today, everything they labored for is in ruins because of I no go gree, oh, I no go gree. For me, in marriage, if you want everything, take. I will move away. I will go away. I will live a better life. Even if it's 10 years left for me to live, I will live well. I've always told my wife and my children, and my son Ufoma is getting to understand me. I said, I used to tell them, if your mother wakes up and says that you are not my children, I didn't do anything with her, I don't have anything together with her, that I should leave the house we built where I reside, I would just gladly take my certificates, live there as far as I can reach, Reverend Samson Bojo's house. In 10 years, I will live a better life than this. When I was saying it, they thought I was a reckless person. I didn't care for them. No, I am responsible to them. I am a responsible husband. But many things I don't hold dearly to them. That's why I could sell the hospital. That's why I could leave everything that we established together with my wife. Leave everything. Because peace is priceless. Gives you time to reason, gives you time to develop. One of the first things you will learn in economics is that wartime is living on capital. At wartime, you live on capital. Look at the cost of the war. I was reading from a post by Al Jazeera. Somebody sent it to me from Ireland that Israel is is spending $725 million a day. The person who posted it, his handle is at edge of conflict. At edge of conflict, small letters, edge, EDGE of conflict. $725 million a day. Now, I want to look at the cost of the recent attack today on Fordo, Isfahan, and what's the name of the other one? Natanz, their nuclear sites. Some reports say a dozen missiles, the bunker busting missiles, were shot at Fordo and at Isfahan. So yesterday night, when I woke up around 1:20 something or 30 something to do the first video, I went to check the cost of a bunker busting bomb. Each of those munitions dropped cost between 400 million US dollars to 500 million US dollars. That's minus the cost of the bomber that carried the the munitions to drop them. Each of those bombers costs 2.1 billion US dollars. 2.1 billion US dollars. Now, let's take the 12 bunker busting bombs. That will have cost $6 billion for the dozen. $6 billion. 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched at another site. 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles. I checked the cost of the Tomahawk cruise missile. Each of them will cost about cost of procurement, maintenance, servicing, everything will cost about $10 million. So the 30 that were launched, $300 million. Now, look at on the Iranian side, the cost of construction of those underground nuclear facilities, underground, billions of oil and gas money. Let's take these two issues. You can be hearing that Israel is a very rich nation, Israel is this and that and that. There are the Falashans that are in Israel. That's the Ethiopian Jews, the African Jews. They are not living as well as the Ashkenazi Jews or the European Jews, even though they might be living better than Ethiopia, but their lifestyle can be much better. There are those ones that wear caps and have long hair, the Orthodox Jews. Several of them might be richer than us in Africa, but they are They are not as rich as some other people elsewhere, Israeli businessmen. So even in Israel, there are people that need money for them to live better. If Israel was living at peace with with her neighbor, and if the neighbors were willing to live at peace with Israel, please, some of you don't understand English. You must hear what I'm saying. Don't come here and just jump and make stupid comment. I will whip you. So Israel is fighting the Houthis. The Houthis, just one small tribe in those days, and living in the mountains in Yemen, they came and conquered everywhere. The president then died. And this is a warning to Nigeria. You'll be underestimating these Fulani bandits in the bush. They can overrun this country with time if care is not taken. And so there's no small demon, there's no small enemy who must deal a decisive blow on these individuals. And so the Israel is fighting the Houthis. Even the Houthis, Yemen is a very backward nation compared to Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Why don't you spend these monies you are using to develop rockets and you are being bombed by Saudi Arabia, by different countries? Why don't you spend this money in developing your country? Let's go to Iran. All the monies for these nuclear facilities that you are out of pride, national pride, the Persians are very proud. It's historically they were being a world power. Persians and Medes, remember them in the Bible. But there's a time that logic should overtake pride. They could have spent those monies doing a lot of things, taking the Palestinians, rehabilitating them somewhere else, giving them scholarships, taking very good care of them, instead of them living in those refugee camps. We have not calculated the number of souls lost. So we out of anger, we spend a lot of money developing destructive weapons, and then in a second, few minutes, gone. Infrastructure of war, gone. I hate war. I hate crisis. This pertains to your friendship with somebody, with your landlord and your tenants, with your family members. I no go gree, oh, I no go gree. Eventually, if sanity prevails, it will not turn to we don't agree or we don't agree. You should have started we don't agree very early to avoid destruction. I pray that somebody will listen to what I've said, apply this in your family, apply this in your businesses. I've said that some Nigerian musical people, managers, singers, and all that, they are no go gree, oh, I no go gree, that you are doing will cause a lot of devastation to you, to your businesses, to your ministries, and to the body of Christ. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. We have properties for sale. We have a webinar coming up in July. It is tagged Investing Intelligently. I think this is part of the seminar already. When you spend your energy in conflict, you are investing unintelligently. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. I think that seminar should be around on the 17th. I'll be in Germany by then. God bless you. Remember the number is +234 80 21 21 92 62. Subscribe to this channel. I will do another video, my Sunday service. God bless you.